from YouTube, and I'm going to take you through, I guess, my entrepreneurial journey, how I got started, and different challenges I experienced along the way, also how I overcame a lot of different obstacles, because when you start a business, there will be obstacles, I'm sorry, but there are, but there's also room to grow, so it's fantastic. And I wanted to share with you not just how I started things like my educational stationery line, but again, as Daisy was saying, how I've used social media to grow my brand and my overall business. So yes, I'm an Aussie YouTuber. My educational stationery line, as you can see there, is called Seated Educationery. And I also am now a published author. Woohoo! Very excited. And yeah, my main goal with my entire brand, my stationery, the book, the channel, my social media accounts, is really to inspire and motivate students to be happy, healthy and productive. And I also wanted to share with you a little bit of the background story so that you get to know me and perhaps even understand why I started this, because this is not really where I saw my life going a few years ago at all. It was quite a curveball, but I wanted to share with you, how I actually got to this point. Right, so about me, I wanted to start with, I gave a talk recently and I started with this personal story, and don't judge me, we've all had these moments. So how was I as a student when I was in high school and university? I was pretty highly strung, actually. I was really highly strung. So the story goes like this. I was enrolled in a statistics unit at Deakin, and I found it really challenging at the start. It was a new subject for me. I had to learn a lot of new skills, new kinds of assessments, and it takes time for these things to click. So I studied incredibly hard for my first class test, and about a week later I came home to find my sister impatiently waiting to actually find out how I went on that test. But when I told her what I got, she looked at me like I was just this really strange being standing in front of her, because what I said was this. I said, I got 100%, but now I have to get 100% on my next test because I don't want to lose my average. And I was dead serious. So that's really unhealthy behaviour. That's, the old perfectionist traits I'm really still trying to shake to this day. And if anything, perfectionist traits, it puts unnecessary amount of pressure on ourselves, and it's unsustainable to be perfect. We are perfectly imperfect, as I say. So how did I go on my next test, guys? Who wants to guess?
63.
63.
Can I have the mic up a little closer?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Thank you.
Oh, there, yeah, now I can hear myself. So did I get 100% again? Actually, I did, because I studied really hard. But you know what? The next time, I didn't get 100%. So I didn't keep up that perfect average, and I learned that it was really not worth it. It wasn't. It's important to do your best. It's important to enjoy your education and to not take it for granted and be purely grade focused. And I actually had to learn the hard way. I was really anxious as a student. I found it particularly challenging to get these excellent grades, but also not lose sight of what else is important, like my health and my relationships, and just have the right healthy lifestyle and focus on my well-being. So I ended up pushing myself, and I sat for a scholarship at Deakin, and I got it. And I enrolled in a PhD, and I started, and I was enjoying it. I was doing really well, and I had the most wonderful supervisors, and I don't think they're in the room tonight, so that's really good, because I don't know this story. And I realised, though, that it wasn't allowing me to be my true self. I wasn't really able to exercise my creativity. I actually used to be very creative when I was younger. I loved drawing, I would go to drama class, I would dance, I loved to be creative. And I didn't get that opportunity with psychology. Instead, what I got out of psychology was a lot of very valuable skills, skills in organisation, time management, independent learning, but it didn't allow me to have that creative outlet. The reason it originally appealed to me was because I loved the idea of helping people, and I just had to find a way to do it my way. So that brings me to my next slide and the next part of my journey. Alright, so that's when I had this idea of the first ever educational stationery line. That's right, I was going to put together education and fun. And I know that sounds really weird, but I I think I did it, finally. So I came out with a range of planners and exercise books for students, and they've got different templates and study tips, and I've put a little bookmark on all of your seats. And if you aren't familiar with my stationery line, they also actually stock it downstairs at the merchandise store, so thank you, Deakin. But every product has a different study tip on every page. And I wanted it to not only be functional, but also inspire and motivate students and just really assist them to get the most out of their studies. And so the tip that you have on that bookmark is my favourite tip. It's also on my business cards, and it says pursue learning with passion, enthusiasm and an open mind. And it doesn't just stop when you leave school or university. That's also applicable when you're starting your own business. You have to be open-minded and you have to be willing to learn new skills. And I learned a lot of new skills. And I mean, from styling and merchandising to organising the photo shoots, I managed my website, running the social media accounts. There was a lot of stuff I had to learn. And so that takes me to the next part of my journey. So whilst I was designing my educational stationery line, Seated Educationery, I realised, okay, I'm gonna need to get the word out there. And I have no idea how, because I don't have enough Facebook friends, so that's not gonna help. And so I decided that I would create a couple of different educational videos, and that way I could, promote the products on YouTube. So as I was designing these products, I started releasing some educational videos, and I started a channel called Study with Jess. And to begin with, my priority was the stationery line. I loved it. It was like my baby. And if you guys are starting your own business, I know that maybe you can empathise with me there and you feel the same way. But then something just changed in me, and I realised, okay, actually this is where my passion lies, because I get to be creative, I get to actually connect with millions of students globally. It's limitless. There's no boundaries on social media. And there was so much available that I wanted, there was so much out there that I wanted to make available to students. So I continued, as I was designing the stationery, to build my following on YouTube, and now it's at, I think it grows about 1,000 subscribers a day and 1 million views a month, which is crazy because I get nervous thinking that I'm going to talk to like 100 people. So the fact that my video goes up and in the first, I think it's like 1 minute are like 500 views at the start, I try not to think about that because I just think I'd just freak out next time I'm on camera. So I started the YouTube channel, and it taught me that you really in this day and age need to use social media. It is so beneficial, it is so rewarding. And the reason I say it's rewarding is not just because it converts to sales, it's actually because people really want a face to the brand. They want to know whose brand is this, what's the personality behind it, or what's the purpose of the brand, who started it. Because if they can build a relationship with the founder, then they've built a relationship with the brand, and they'll be more likely to be a loyal customer. So at first it was a little daunting to put myself out there, and if you watch my videos at the very start, they didn't allow me to be as vulnerable as I am now. And I think it just takes time. You have to start off deciding, what am I comfortable with at the moment? Do I want to put my face out there? Do I want to share personal information about myself, or just want to stick to study tips? And that's what I did at the start. I just stuck to the study tips, and now it's very different. I have no issue sitting in front of my camera in my study by myself and just ranting on about whatever comes to mind that I really want students out there to know. And I talk about things from how to organise your life in a day to how to manage stress and anxiety during exam time. The fact that a lot of students are very caught up with their self-worth and their grades. They're very much tied together, and that can have a really detrimental effect on their health and their mindset. So it allowed me to be very creative and really put myself out there. And then I was able, once I launched the stationery line, to begin to very subtly integrate the products into my videos, because you don't want to disrespect your followers, your subscribers, your fans by just saying outright, buy this stuff, I'll make money. It's not just about converting your views or your followers to sales. You've got to respect that they're real people, and they're gonna smell that phoniness. So, for example, I put up a video on how to study for exams or how to write weekly summaries, and I featured the exam summary book. So, if anything, I'm using my products to demonstrate the tips that I want them to take home with them and apply in the classroom and apply when they're studying. And so there's a real purpose there. It's not just, here's something pretty and I want to make money and it's all about me. You've got to understand that, you know, there are still people on, you know, the other end of your Instagram account or on the other end of that computer screen or TV screen. And so I think it's really important to remember that in trying to build a following, you've also got to respect those followers as well, and it's really, really important that you do that. So I won't lie though, when I started my YouTube channel, it was really hard. I actually YouTubed how to use YouTube because I didn't know how to upload my first video. That was great. I actually filmed my very first video, my promotional video, my teaser video, with my iPhone in the university library, and it took me 4 hours to edit on iMovie, this is how old school I was back then, a 30-second promo video. Now I've upgraded to something called Final Cut Pro, and I equate it to, instead of digging a swimming pool by hand, you actually bring in some machinery, so it takes a lot less time. So, you know, again, I had to teach myself some other skills. I had to learn how to use Final Cut Pro, how to use YouTube. There's amazing analytics on the back end of YouTube. It can tell you your demographics, your average watch time. It shows you the audience retention for every video that you post up. Search terms, how people are finding your videos so that you know what kind of words to include in your tags. So, you know, I feel like I'm a bit of a YouTube nerd now, but they've really supported me. They host workshops a lot, they give you mentors. Depending on your subscriber count, you'll be allocated a new mentor and you kind of graduate to another level, which feels great. So yeah, there's definitely support out there. You're not really on your own. And, you know, speaking, you know, in the realm of technology, if you don't actually know how to use the technology, you just Google it and you have to you're going to be self-taught. But you're going to feel amazing about that because your confidence goes up and you realize, hey, I can do this. And next time something comes up, whether it's work or unrelated, if you don't know how to do something, it's like this track record that you've got that says, well, I'm able to learn new skills. I know that I am capable and I'm willing to give it a shot. So, you know, it taught me some other things about myself as well, which is really cool. And yeah, I guess, you know, like I was saying at the very start, it began with me, I guess, my initial tagline was study with Jess, study tips guru. And as I felt more comfortable to put myself out there and I felt like there were more topics or more issues that really needed to be addressed for students, that I let that wall come down. And if anything, once I realised that I didn't need to be like another YouTuber at the start, every video I talk like this, everything has to be through a smile because I really want people to feel upbeat and leave feeling great after they watch my videos. And then I watched it back and I was like, oh my God, I can't watch that. I feel drained, like I'm exhausted watching myself. So I learned that I just had to be me, and it's okay to show a range of emotions on social media. You don't have to always be happy. Sometimes you want to be serious. Sometimes there's important issues that are happening around the world that, you know, need to be addressed so that your viewers or followers or subscribers know that you're a human being. So, you know, that's when I allowed those walls to come down and I started filming different kinds of content, and I changed the tagline from Study with Jess, Study Tips Guru, to Study with Jess, inspiring students to be happy, healthy and productive. And in essence, you know, everything about my brand, my YouTube channel, my stationery line, my Instagram account, they're reflective of me. And as long as you do you, no one can steal that. So people have asked me when I started, aren't you scared someone's going to come out with another educational stationery line? Or what if someone else wears glasses and starts doing study tips on YouTube? They are, but not like me. You know, it's different because I'm passionate about certain things and they're passionate about others. And, you know, there are people out there that are going to want to watch my content, and then there are people that may not like my content because they want it to be more informative or more formal or more lifestyle and fun. And so I can't please everybody. And when you start to respect what's right for you and you use social media as a vehicle for expressing yourself and really being true to your brand, which is, it's part of you. It's a reflection of what's important to you, or what you enjoy and what you're passionate about. Then that's what's important. Now, a couple of months ago, I released my study skills book, the High School Survival Guide, and that was released in the US. I signed with a US-based publishing company, Mango Media Publishing Group, and it's actually a story behind this. I think we've got a little bit of time. So I started vlogging because with a website, SEO rankings, you need good search terms, you need to update your website regularly, and so I started vlogging. And I was putting up some different content about studying, and the reason I started it was I was on a plane, don't like flying, and I thought, well, what am I going to do? So I grabbed out my laptop and I thought, I'm going to write a couple blogs. So the first 2 blogs I wrote, one was how to ease back to school nerves, because it was around that time for a lot of my viewers in America. And the other one was how to throw the ultimate study party, because I make studying fun, because it can be. And I turned to my mum after I wrote the second blog, because we're on our way to a family holiday, and I said to her, Mum, and this is all I said, Mum, I'm going to write a book. And it was like in that moment that she knew that I meant what I was saying, and I was really going to follow through, because I'm very strong-willed and determined. And she just says to me, I know you will. And 6 months later, I didn't think I was going to write a book anytime soon, mind you. I thought I was eventually going to collate my blogs like Carrie Bradshaw and Sex and the City, because that's cool. And 6 months later, I get this email from Mango saying, hey, we're looking for a social influencer to author a study skills book for students. Are you interested? I thought, yes, but like, are you dodgy? Is this too good to be true? I don't know. So, I chatted to them for a little while, and I realised this was an amazing opportunity. They found me through YouTube. I had established a strong following. I was about 50,000 subscribers when I signed with Awesomeness TV, and then 90,000 subscribers when I signed with Mango to write the book. And in that time, it's only been a year since I signed with them, and I mean a lot of growth has happened. I'm now at 285 or 86,000, I think. But that opportunity wouldn't have come if I didn't have a presence on social media, because what you're doing on social media is you're saying, hey, I exist. So I'm over here. If you're looking for anyone for something in particular, come check me out. And it's like this massive online portfolio that you're creating. And so, it was just this amazing opportunity that came my way, and it's in stores in the US like Barnes and Nobles and Walmart, and it just got into Dimox here, and it's awesome, because I didn't feel like I would actually have the opportunity to do that. I didn't know how you even get a book published, or how do I thought, okay, I'm going to knock on the doors of all the different publishers. I'll make a list in about a year's time, and maybe they won't turn me down, or do I have to give them a manuscript, or do I just give them a bit of a pitch? I don't know. So, I was able to save myself a lot of time there, and, the great thing about social media is it keeps going all the time. So you're converting to sales overnight. You're getting new followers overnight whilst you sleep. People are finding you and discovering you, and contacting you for new opportunities all the time. So you're really able to make the most of your time, and you're working smart and not hard, which is why I also think it's a fantastic vehicle for launching a business as well. And that brings me to the end of my presentation, but I know you guys might have some questions, so are we saving that for panel? Or we're saving that for panel. Okay, so save your questions for panel, and I hope that my entrepreneurial journey has inspired you guys, or you've gotten some different strategies, or just tips for what you guys are working on at the moment as well. I know some of you are looking to start a business, or you've recently started a business, which is awesome, so good job, go you. It's a bit of a marathon, you've got to push through, and you've got to be patient. I am horrible at being patient. I'm so impatient, and if anything, I've been my own worst enemy throughout this whole journey. So, if you want to chat to me about that sort of stuff afterwards, you're welcome to. But I might hand it over back to Daisy, and thank you very much.